Hey guys, welcome back to the Ghost and Friends YouTube channel. We're here for the Texas and the Arkansas postgame show with Peyton Yeager with Nash Talks Texas. How we doing today, guys?
Doing all right.
I'm kind of dead.
Kind of dead? Well, tell everyone else, rather. You know, you kind of bounced around a lot here in the last 24 hours. Well, I guess a little more than that. But when did you get into Fayetteville?
Okay, yeah. For people wondering, like, why does this woman look like she just got hit by a bus? Like, I do. I feel that way. I had work late Friday, so I landed in Fayetteville at midnight. Spent the night on my girlfriend's couch. Did the game. So I landed Friday at midnight, did the game, and then I flew out of Northwest Arkansas at 4:30 p.m. and landed back in Dallas at 6 p.m. So I think I was in Fayetteville for like 15 hours, less than maybe 15 hours. Yeah. But we made it back.
That's too many hours in Fayetteville.
With a dub. No, I didn't want to stay another night. Like, I was just like, we got the dub. I need to get out of there. And then I woke up this morning, obviously, in my own bed, and I feel amazing.
Always good to sleep in your own bed, wake up in your own bed. Quick hit and run in Fayetteville for Peyton.
Oh, that's such a good, that's a good, I'm going to steal that from you.
Got you. So Nash, start with you. Peyton, we'll let you talk about, the in-game experience there at Reynolds Stadium in Fayetteville in a moment. Nash, you watched this one play out. Talk to me about, maybe the emotions you had as you watched it all go down. What did you think about the first half and the 10-point lead? And then what did you think about the second half and how it played out, both?
I mean, overall, I think I really felt better about this game than the Mississippi State game, which is ironic. It's one of those things where the score and stats kind of can be misleading. But the first half, I felt like the defense had probably one of, if not the strongest showings that they put forth all year. And then they came out strong in the second half. A little bit of inconsistency from the defense for just a second there, but they came right back in the fourth quarter and they closed out the game. So that's something that I absolutely love to see. Offense, they kind of had their struggles. I think a lot of the stuff I'm sure we'll get plenty into it, but I think a lot of the stuff about Quinn Ewers is being overblown. The second half, I really liked seeing the run game because that we leaned on the run game to close out the game for us. And I know people are going to have their thoughts about this. I thought that yesterday was a performance that was putting us on the right path, if not solidifying the path of us headed towards the national championship. I mean, if the team keeps playing like that, we're going to win a national championship.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a game that a lot of people have obviously differing opinions about. You've gone to bat for Quinn on Twitter here in the last 24 hours. There's a lot that goes into the offensive struggles, no doubt. It's not just a Quinn Ewers thing. It's not just a Steve Sarkisian thing. It's not just an offensive line thing. Shout out to the offensive line that did a pretty good job with penalties in this game. That was a big concern. If Texas was going to lose this game, they were going to do it losing the turnover battle, giving up explosive plays, committing a lot of penalties, and they didn't do any of those. So definitely good to see that. Hello, Mr. Matt Goldenstein. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for checking in. Your Huskers kind of got robbed, okay? I saw that pass interference that should have been called in the end zone on the Trojans there, buddy. Hate to see that. But, yeah, Peyton, talk to us. Inside Reynolds Stadium, what was it like? What were the vibes, the atmosphere? What do you think about their game day experience overall in Arkansas?
First of all, I know I sound like Steve Sarkisian at the beginning of his press conference, but like shout out to Longhorn Nation. There were so many Longhorns there, and I know we sound like a broken record because that's kind of how it was in Vandy as well. But yeah, I agree with that comment. So there were a lot of Longhorns, huge away section, and then it just blurred orange all the way across the stadium. So I was extremely impressed, and they were loud. So that was awesome. very, very impressed by that showing of Longhorn Nation. They were like, the Razorbacks were kind of just like going into it like we're going to get our butts beat. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I'm not going to lie. Like it started to get really loud in there at the beginning of the third quarter. And so I got a little concerned. But other than that, it wasn't like a huge toxic environment. I think that, I have like a con. I have like one bad story. So whatever, it doesn't matter. They're just ruthless and they hate us, long story short. So I'm just glad we got the dub and we got out. Like, I don't care how we won. And I think I said that earlier this week. I don't care how we won. I just needed us to win and get out. So I'm happy with it. And I think this was a win for Steve and he needed it. So.
No doubt. 2021 was very humbling. Texas took care of a pretty decent Louisiana team in week 1 under Steve Sarkisian that year, and then got manhandled up there by Arkansas. We got embarrassed. It is what it is in that game. We got whipped around on offense and defense, but this was nice retribution. Not that it's an Arkansas team that was expected to beat Texas or expected to hang with Texas, but you take a road conference victory any day of the week, and going into this game, and I hate to steal from March Madness, but it's survive in advance. You look at everybody else and what they're going through in the close games. Oregon winning by 3 points at Wisconsin. Halfway through the second quarter yesterday, Ohio State was down 7 at Northwestern. Obviously, Tennessee got whipped in the second half of Georgia. Everybody is dropping games. Just find a way to win, keep going, and that's like Nash has talked about so often. What Texas has the luxury of is a very nice defense that can help out the offense that is struggling a little bit at times. And yeah, we're not getting the point totals and yardage totals and running game that we may all want, but hey, we're 9-1 at the end of the day. And so I hate, like you said, Peyton, they kind of downplayed their confidence all week long. Arkansas fans rather had no confidence. That third quarter did get a little bit sketchy, but ultimately Gage was texting me a little bit. I said, we'll find a way to win this, and the defense isn't going to let us drop this game. They gave up the one drive and then had really good, Arkansas had really good field position there when they got that field goal. But it looked like a cool environment. I'm glad you got to experience it. Glad you got to experience Texas winning in that environment. And so Colt McCoy's bookie with the Quinn undefeated since Trump elected president. Of course, we got that in there. Love it.
The defense was really just fun to watch. I actually felt really I was like, we're safe. I actually have so much confidence in them. I was just like, offense, like, don't mess up. Don't have something crazy. I know the fumble went out of bounds. Like, that could have been something traumatic. But
Right.
I was just praying for the offense not to mess up. And then I just had full trust. But I was, like, kind of quiet in the first half. And then the second half, I was, like, screaming like a crazy person. Because I was mostly with Razorbacks. But whatever. So, yeah, it was fun. But there are a couple of mean people. I'm not going to lie. They do not like
Really?
us there.
Yeah, they hate us.
Like, at first, like, some comments, I was like, oh, they're kidding. Like, they're funny. But then I, like, kind of took a sec. I was like, oh, wow, that man is, like, actually serious. So
Yeah, no, like that's where, like, I don't know if I did the thing up for y'all on the Florida fan that was making me laugh. Like, the Florida shit talk was hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
they were cracking me up. Arkansas fans, like, actually, like, they're like Aggies except for it's serious.
yeah, they're serious. Like, they said some pretty mean things, and I'm just like, whoa. And then I, like, kind of, like, jokingly, weirdly, awkwardly laugh, And then they're, like, stone cold. I'm like, oh. Because with Aggies, we kind of, like,
Daryl K. Royal really pissed him off.
Yeah, they were angry.
A lot of younger Longhorns, like you guys, I feel like I'm fringe. They don't understand that hatred, until, like you, Peyton, you get up there, you experience it firsthand, you see the things that they say, how they feel about Texas. I love this rivalry. My dad always told me it was as hated or as much hatred involved in this one as any other rivalry there was. He always warned me about Fayetteville and how much they hated Texas. I've only got the experience at one time, but leaving there with a win, it feels pretty dang good. I got told yesterday this is not a rivalry. Peyton, what are your thoughts after being there? Do you think it has the makings for a renewed rivalry?
I don't know. No, I mean, it's just not even. I don't think as much as like OU and A&M. However, I do feel like this had a little bit more weight because of the 2021 embarrassment. I think that's kind of what was more on everyone's minds from like my camp and maybe my age group was like we were just like embarrassed. Also, when I was in college, we lost them. I mean, it was in like the Houston Bowl, but we still lost to them. So I haven't seen a win from them basically ever.
That Houston Bowl or Texas Bowl was arguably the most embarrassing offensive performance in Texas.
So that was like my sophomore year of college or something. So I was just embarrassed all the way around. And for the people that don't know, I lived in Fayetteville. It's where I got my reporting career started. Obviously, we were in the SEC. We never played each other. So I didn't really get it. Like I would go to Fayetteville, Arkansas versus like Alabama. I'm like, okay, this is fun. Like I'm just cheering for football. But when I rolled into town yesterday, there were horns down flags everywhere. Every single tailgate that had like the flags in the air had like our flag, but upside down. So
I mean,
thank you for the money. But like,
if we play year in, year out, that hatred you talk about, you experience a loss up there. Next year, you're going to want to beat them really bad. I'm hoping it gets back to being a very important game for both teams. It's definitely a big time game for Arkansas. I mean, they will tell you that. Even Sam Pittman before the season, joked about Hogs fans hating Texas more than they like themselves. And he kind of downplayed the rivalry here lately, I believe. But Nash, what do you think, man? Can they be that third rival? Can it border or ever kind of mirror A&M or in Oklahoma and what we have with them?
No. As a Texas fan, I just don't think from our point of view it's ever going to get to that spot. I think that who has a better chance at being our third rival, if we do have a third rival, I think that's gonna be Tennessee.
But you're going LSU there.
No. I actually don't mind LSU. I actually kind of like LSU fans.
I love LSU fans. Yeah.
I've always said if I wasn't a Longhorn, I'd probably be an LSU fan. Like just one geographically, two. I know a lot of LSU people. Or I feel like I do at least. But Tennessee, like that is just you want to talk about a university that's just absolutely just tried to copy the University of Texas. They like it's A&M little brother syndrome, but like shooting up heroin while you're doing it. It's just the Tennessee. I don't know. I feel like there's just a natural hatred between our fan bases, which is really ironic considering the whole like volunteer thing. But and it's even funnier that they don't understand where the volunteers comes from. Like they think that that's because they sent some dudes down to the Alamo. No, it has to do with the Mexican American War, not the not the Alamo. And by the way, Tennessee fans, we lost the Alamo, so your fires aren't worth a shit, right? So I say that joking, Peyton, but it's like they act like I'm dead serious. If you were to go on Twitter and talk crap about Tennessee, they would say, "Well, you have to thank us for the entire reason why y'all are a state."
Yeah.
No, we don't. We lost that battle, and if anything, the school that we're playing this week is the school that's responsible for the state of Texas existing. So I am going to have a little bit of, I don't know, I'll say sadness in my heart when we beat Kentucky, but thank you to those Kentucky riflemen that have made this a great state and allowed me to cheer for this school.
That was the longest winded answer I've ever heard, but so educational. I appreciate it.
I love it.
I do a lot of long answers.
No, I love it. It was so educational this Sunday morning.
I love it. I feel like we're starting off with almost a very peaceful way to begin Kentucky week. And it's awesome.
I saw a comment that said that Arkansas is like an SEC Oklahoma State. I agree with that. That's like hits the nail on the head.
Yeah. I mean, if they somehow one day return to what they were, in the 60s and 70s and had, top 5 programs, they've had a couple of really good teams, obviously since then. Shout out Darren McFadden, but it's maybe that elevates, that rivalry and was somehow, in y'all's two opinions, gets it back to where maybe it was at one point. But we're doing our job. We're handling business. It felt good to beat those guys. Haven't got to play them, very, very often. Here we go. We got a ranking list here from Mr. David. Oklahoma, A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU. I could definitely see it playing out like that. I think Tennessee and LSU, like Nash talked about a little, those are going to be really fun rivalries. I think there's a lot of mutual respect between Texas and LSU, especially when it comes to the Diamond. But
Yes,
2019
especially in baseball.
Yeah, 2019 LSU when they visited Austin, elite tailgating day. I'll just say that was a blast. Enjoyed every bit of it. Can't wait to go to Death Valley. Gage doesn't like Arkansas. Professor Nash. All right, Nash, it's your time, buddy. We've got a comment here. I'm sure you're ready to talk about this a little bit. Give me another long-winded answer. Talk to us about why we shouldn't panic about Quinn, why all the Quinn criticism is overblown, and why ultimately people should just relax.
I mean, I literally just got done. If anybody was paying attention, they could have seen my head was looking off to this side for a good bit. Well, I was still listening, but I was also kind of just finishing up for about probably the sixth or seventh time watching the Quinn Ewers every single throw and every single play of his. And I just like to sit there and assume that Arch Manning is going to come in here and go through the progressions just like Quinn does. It's ludicrous and it's absurd. People can say, hey, well, they can go, hey, look at his athleticism, right? Okay, yeah, his athleticism might help, but one, I promise you, the second if he starts to run too much, if he runs twice in a matter of 15 plays, Sark is going to be in his ear saying, cut that shit out, right? Sark does not like running quarterbacks. That's a last ditch option that he wants you to be. And then on top of that, so what's going to happen is, yes, teams, they might have to respect it a little bit, but if you're not using it, they're not going to respect it. And they're going to keep on dropping safeties. Now, the biggest problem is the run game. And the problem is that there's no power in the run game. We saw Jaden Blue start to run with a little bit of power yesterday, and it was mainly the offensive line getting more push that we haven't seen in a while. That's very welcomed. That's more responsible for the Quinn struggles than anything else that I've seen. I go and I watch one thing that really kind of almost hits the nail on the head for what's happened with Quinn Ewers is people like to just blame Quinn Ewers. They just like to blame him. Like nobody else can do any wrong. Quinn Ewers is the one that does wrong, right? One, there's two play calls that I thought could have been far better. The first play call probably wasn't bad. The second one to do basically the same exact thing. For those that remember, we're on the cusp of getting another field goal, and we have two screenplays that back us up like 15 yards, back to back. Like we lose 7 yards on each play. One of those plays where Quinn Ewers, he's throwing the ball, and people were like, "Oh, well, he can't make that throw there." If he doesn't throw the ball, if he throws the ball out of bounds, he takes an intentional grounding, loses it down, and loses the yardage. So, and then the one that I was saying hits the nail on the head is the Kelvin Banks one, where this is not the one where Quinn Ewers tripped over somebody over Cam Williams. This is the one where Kelvin Banks, he was getting pushed back into the middle of the pocket, and Quinn Ewers runs, and they're like, and people, they were saying, Quinn Ewers, look at him, he just runs right into Landon Jackson's arms. No, Landon Jackson pushed Kelvin Banks back in a rare time that you see Kelvin Banks get pushed back, and Quinn Ewers got eaten up, and he probably would have had an open guy or open yardage to run on that play. That and then you go look at the like plays like Silas Bolden, the one to Silas Bolden where Quinn Ewers breaks out of the pressure in the pocket, escapes from a sack, throws, hits Silas Bolden dead on the fucking hands. Excuse my language. Sorry, I'm just kind of naturally out there. Dead on the hands. First down. What are we talking about? On 3rd and 13. On 3rd and 12, I'm going to say. And then you also got Gunnar Helm where he hits Gunnar Helm a beautiful ball. Like, how many times have you seen Gunnar Helm drop a ball, Ghost?
Not very many, buddy.
That's my first time. That's the first time I can actually remember like a ball is hit his two hands. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful pass that should have been caught. If Gunnar Helm catches that pass, that's 20 yards rack. I don't know, man. Like it annoys me that people think that Arch Manning is just going to come in here and be the same level of a year 3 quarterback. I understand there's mistakes that Quinn Ewers made that you probably don't want to see in a year 3, but watching back, if you sit there and watch his plays, it's hard to there's maybe a couple, right, that you could point to and you go, yeah, you got to cut that. You got to cut that out, man. You got to hit like there's one where I saw Isaiah Bond on 3rd and 3. CJ Vogel actually tweeted about it. It was the one where he's talking about the mesh route. He's hitting. And this is one of the other things. I don't know why he doesn't just throw the ball to Matthew Golden. He had 3 options on that play that he could have. If he's throwing an accurate ball, that you're not gonna throw an interception there. But he didn't want. I think that not putting the ball in harm's way was at a pair. Like to your point, Ghost. What are the things you said? Hey, let's not commit penalties. Let's not commit turnovers in this game. If there's one game that we can't do that in, it's this game. What did we not do? We didn't commit turnovers. We didn't commit penalties. So I don't know. I just watching it back. I'm not some QB guru that's going to be able to tell you every single last little bit of detail, but I know enough to know that Quinn. I thought he didn't do good or bad. I'm willing to actually say he did good yesterday.
Would you say? And I mean, I'll get back to your answer. Would you say that you think he does have better in him than what we saw yesterday, or do you think that is him just kind of playing game manager and doing what he's asked to do, like you just said? We don't turn the ball over. Took a couple shots downfield, but really didn't put the ball at risk. He did have a couple of passes deflected. Obviously the first pass of the game, it would have been a hell of an interception if the guy would have came up with that one. So for people saying that that's a turnover worthy play,
Are you talking about the one where he pump faked and almost hit Golden on the sideline? Like it was like the ranging safety.
His first completion, they got deflected into Bond's hands, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the one that looks like the Michael Griffin interception versus USC.
Oh no. Just, I mean, do you think he has better in him than we saw yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, of course,
that doesn't mean he played bad. Okay, no, just
he has better in him, but also it could have been a lot worse. Like yesterday, like I feel like I know the ESPN QBR has this as like his 10th worst game or something like that. I feel like there's been more games that are worse than that. Like there's been games that he's been statistically better in that I probably felt worse off after watching the game.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, he got really, really hot this time last year, and it helped because the run game got hot. I will agree with you for several points, but first, Peyton, what are your thoughts? You watched Quinn live yesterday. You saw the game. We texted a little bit about it. What are your thoughts on Quinn? What are your thoughts on his play? And
I agree with Nash. Like, I ride for Quinn. I obviously have his jersey. I'm gonna wear it next week to Kentucky. Like, I ride with him. I do. I don't think that Arch is gonna come in. For everyone like tweeting out, put in Arch. I don't think he's gonna come in and just fix everything. So I don't agree with that. So I ride with Quinn, but I just do think that it needs to be elevated. However, I am pleased walking out of there, no interceptions and no penalties. I am pleased with that. I just feel like it could be like bumped up a notch.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And I just want a little bit more trust. I know I'm asking for a lot, just a little bit more trust. Like, the defense has earned our trust. Every single time they walk out of that huddle, I have no fear. I'm like, they're going to do great. Even if Arkansas scores, then that's it. Even when Arkansas scored, I wasn't even concerned. When they were driving down to score again, I was a little concerned. But, like, when they scored, I was like, okay, they're not going to allow it again. And then look. So I just wish that I had a little bit more trust in Quinn. However, I don't have that trust in Arch. So I don't know. I don't understand that narrative of people being like, we'll put him in. It's like, well, right now we don't have trust really from either. So why are we just going to throw stuff at the wall and hope it sticks?
Yeah, no, I mean, y'all both make great points. Now, if Texas wins a title this year, it would be done under Quinn. We're not winning a title with Arch this year.
Unless he gets injured. Unless there's an injury, which is horrible.
Right, of course. And you're never going to wish that, or let's not even talk about it. But y'all are right. I mean, Arch doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the reps. It's going to take him time, especially in this conference. And for him, talking about this late in the season, you're going to see Kentucky and a Mark Stoops defense who, yes, they're struggling. Mark Stoops is still a really good defensive mind. You're going to see Mike Elko, who's a terrific defensive mind. And then, you talk about the playoffs. It's nothing but tough battles going forward. And I mean, it kind of has been for weeks, but it's Quinn's team. It's all on three. Everything that goes down will be done with him. Whether we win or fall, it will be with three. We don't have the power running game that we've had in years past under Sarkisian. Doesn't mean that we can't improve on what we've already had going, but it's just getting to the point of where it's kind of, it is what it is, but you still got so many potential games to where you can figure things out. Talking Kentucky, A&M, potential SEC title game, many practices come before, or several practices before playoff weeks. The run game has to be there. Making your point, Nash, making Gage's point. If we don't run the ball, there's still going to be teams that trot out the umbrella defense, the three high safety defense that Arkansas ran on us, Iowa State ran it in the past, TCU ran it in the past. Everybody likes to trot that out against Texas, force Texas into kind of playing underneath, and then they just rally and tackle. And they want to bait you into running the ball, but then they have really athletic, hybrid safeties, bigger linebackers that can come downhill and make plays in the run game. So, in my opinion, I saw Eric Nahlin of Inside Texas tweet out this morning, and I've thought about it for the last year and a half or 2 years, and I don't know why we haven't seen it, but the old jumbo package that we had with Andrej Karic, just line up another big body. Let's go 12 personnel, add an extra offensive lineman in there at one of the tight end spots, and just run people over. Is it going to work nonstop all the time? No. The SEC is filled with terrific coaches, terrific athletes, great defenses. It's not going to work every time. But we got to help the run game somehow, some way. A lot of teams have already figured out several of our little go-to screens and how they play out. You saw Arkansas play one really well yesterday.
DeAndre Moore, the one to DeAndre Moore that got blown up.
And now I didn't love that play call, to be honest. You got 3rd and 2 and 2 downs to get it around midfield. If it's me, I'm going to try to make a statement and let Arkansas know we're not scared to run north and south on them, even in obvious rundowns. But teams are starting to catch on a little bit to all the screen games. So we got to adjust. We got to adapt. So if you noticed in the first half yesterday, Nash, Texas kicked their butts on first downs. On offense, most of the drives we scored and moved the ball on, we were kicking their butts on first down offensively. We were picking up 4, 5, 6 yards of play, whether it be a screen, whether it be a run or something.
Ahead of schedule.
Yeah, ahead of schedule. And then on defense, we were creating negative plays. We were breaking up pass plays, sacks on a few times. And then in the second half, that flip there where Arkansas scored, they were winning every first down, and they won a lot of the first downs in the second half when their defense was on the field against our offense. And so, we got a lot of panic, man. People are panicking. Texas is 9-1. Steve Sarkisian has led Texas to top 5 rankings in back-to-back years. We're gonna win double-digit games. And people want everything. They want it to look so easy. They want a Heisman.
They want a Heisman level performance every single week in and week out.
Yeah, and this isn't me saying that there's not a lot for Quinn to improve on. He missed several passes yesterday. He literally didn't even look at the receiver several times that were much more open than balls he threw. And now at the same time, Sarkisian has struggled schematically against that 3-high defense. He really has. And so I'm putting it on Sark. I'm putting it on Quinn. He had a couple of errant throws, one to Blake Helm that we ended up having to settle for a field goal on there in the second half, kind of in the flats. What happens if he decides to stay?
Ewers, I'm assuming.
Oh, Ewers.
I don't think he's going to stay. I think he's going pretty.
No, I don't think so.
Look, and this is the other funny thing. People saying that he's not a first-round draft pick that's hilarious. Everything he's shown so far is a first round. I watched Kenny Pickett go in the first round. Quinn Ewers is a first round quarterback. Okay, I'll and then to kind of. Sorry if I'm interrupting you or cutting you off.
Oh no, go ahead.
To branch off of what you just said about the getting ahead of schedule, that's kind of that's a little bit of the inconsistency that I was talking about. If Texas can just start to remain consistent, and then also the 3-high. If you look at the games that Steve Sarkisian has not just really the Texas offense, and that's where Steve Sarkisian, or I'm saying Steve Sarkisian, the games that we've struggled in on offense are games versus 3-high safeties. And then another point that you just brought up, the lack of a run game, that's something that annoys me because I love that about Sark. Sark is a guy that it's pretty rare nowadays to see a team that will run out of shotgun frequently. go right, like just run right underneath the center. Like snapping underneath the center is almost like a lost art in
Right.
today's day and age of football. And it's one of those things that you have to do if you're going to be a professional quarterback, which is one of the reasons why Sark's system is considered so pro style. But you go and you look at the lack of a north south run game. Look at how we did the 2 yard, how we had to, and this is the key point of that. Look at what we had to do just to get 2 yards with Jarrett Gibson. We had to throw all sorts of misdirection going this way, that way, run to China, shit like that, right? But we can't just say, "Hey, no, we're gonna put our noses down. We're gonna hit you in the face, and we're gonna push you back." We can't do that right now, and that's a problem. And until we can do that, teams are going to start to go, "Well, you know what? Let's look at this blueprint that's been put out there of 3 high safeties, take away the deep passes." Because this is why guys like Xavier Worthy and all that stuff don't really do much in fantasy football. Really, what happens on that level, the top level, is that's opening up space down for the intermediate throws, which Quinn Ewers does amazing in. When you don't get that space opened up because guys aren't there's a lot of guys back there. There's 3 guys, and one guy isn't having to cover, like you don't have a cover 1 or a cover 2, and you're not leaving open more of the top end, right? So a guy doesn't have to follow a DeAndre Moore or an Isaiah Bond breaking through the second level, right? And then when you have that, it makes things more cloudy in the intermediate areas, and that'll in turn lead to more sacks and lead to more not ability to handle pressure, things like that.
I mean, it's just a matter of Quinn, ultimately, to me, getting confidence back, man, and really trusting what he's seeing, trusting, something, the first read's not there, not to panic, to have the flow as you go through your progression, as you go through your reads. I mean, ultimately, man, like we talked about earlier, and you talked about, Nash, like they won the game. He played kind of a game manager in this one. We didn't have to have Quinn Ewers be a superhuman to beat Arkansas, and so there's really no need to force a ton of issues. It almost seems like at times we were playing it safe. I mean, Sark's always trying to move the ball and score. Don't get me wrong, but not setting Quinn up to be in a really, really bad spot. And he's got to be better against the 3 high defenses. I mean, that's.
I mean, I'm not trying to cut you off. Yeah, I wanted that. I didn't want really like a superhero. I know everyone's like waiting at home for a superhero performance. Like, I just feel like he did what he needed to do. However, like, it's got to change before we go to College Station, because if there's a panic button and he panics, I'm like concerned. But we could talk about that in 2 weeks. But
I won't play the full thing because I don't want your thing to get like demonetized or anything. But to what Ghost was just saying right here about the confidence, this is one of the plays that I like was standing out to me, and you heard me mention it. This is the one that CJ Vogel tweeted out, I think. Quinn Ewers right here is staring at Matthew Golden.
Right.
Like his eyes are already on Matthew Golden. There's space open right here. Matthew Golden is about to break open into space on the route. Like you can see, that's what Quinn Ewers is thinking. Why did he hold the ball? Why did he pull down the ball? Like that's wide open right there. Where you're about to see Golden run into. If that ball's thrown right there, that's a pass. That's a completion. There's also a completion right there. There's a completion right there. That's in 3rd and 3. And my entire point to say this is like you go like just looking at this play, I think this goes to show like you were talking about the confidence. If Quinn Ewers has confidence, that ball's out.
It's ripped, right?
That ball is ripped right there. That ball's flying through. There's a damn missile going through that hole. Look at this thing. That's fucking beautiful, right? And like that would be a beautiful completion. These are also the throws that Quinn Ewers does amazing too. And it's just, I don't know. To me, that's just when you had said that, that's the first thing that came to my mind was when he's lacking the confidence is that throw right there. He pulls down the throw, and it's not even. And some people, if they want to say the pressure wasn't even there yet. He wasn't even technically feeling the pressure, right?
Right.
I think he was losing confidence in his ability to get and that's, I mean, look, it seems like a really big hole, but that's a lot. You see the safety kind of crashing down too. Holes are a lot tighter than they really kind of look.
Right.
But still, that is a throw that I've seen Quinn Ewers make probably 20 times this year, and he can easily make that 9 times out of 10.
And like you said, I mean, there's a ton of room for him to kind of flush the pocket to the left side there and potentially pick up things with pick up some yards with his legs. But I mean, that's not really the goal of Steve Sarkisian right there. You can tell, he's probably run at last resort. And like you said, there's a hole there. He's staring it down. Pocket just kind of collapses on him after he fails to pull the trigger on it. But I mean, he doesn't turn the ball over there. Maybe that's his thought. Maybe in the back of his mind, he's worried about causing a turnover. And now that can be a whole issue in itself, being scared to pull the trigger. But yesterday I said it felt like he was asked to kind of be a game manager, flip out a lot of screens, some quick passes, take the occasional deep shot. Which to your point, Peyton, like we're going to have to hit some deep shots if we're going to ever be able to run the ball. Like that would help with the run game a little bit. Even if you're attacking the 3 high safeties, just picking one up every now and then. I would love to see Ryan Wingo down there. I hate this. People are saying he hit a wall. I don't know if you've seen that, Nash, on Twitter. People saying Ryan Wingo hit a wall. So it's like we're not really getting him the ball. We're not getting him a lot of opportunities out there. And hey, they'll come. Like with deep wide receiver room. He's a talented kid.
Yeah, he's great.
He's going to be part of the offense.
Ghost, let me ask you this. Was that Vanderbilt defensive back making an amazing play on a ball that that route Ryan Wingo had in the end zone? Was that Ryan Wingo hitting the wall, or was that the Vanderbilt defensive back making an amazing play? I'm just
let me go back and rewatch it.
No, I'm being sarcastic. It was 100% an amazing play. I'm saying it's like it's not a fault for Ryan Wingo that the defense, like a defensive back, makes a great play, or even the fact that Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond, DeAndre Moore, and even Silas Bolden. Like this is the other thing. I like to see more Silas Bolden.
I would love.
Like he's showing me something. He's showing me like, and really what it is too is it's his ability to make dudes miss when they shouldn't miss, right? Like that's really special. He's like a legit joystick guy.
Oh yeah, no doubt. One of those guys you wouldn't tackle in a phone booth if you had
like
to.
One of those guys that when your buddy's playing Madden, you say you can't choose that team because they got Silas Bolden on there, and you can literally just as soon as you change the stick on the move, as soon as you change the right thumbstick, he moves that way.
I mean, he's obviously caused a lot of what's up 512. He's caused a lot of anxiety, I'll say, as he picks up punts that sometimes you're on the half-yard line and brings them out, but
on the one
he makes
yesterday.
Yeah, like he got like
They looked inside
so I
the
was
one
watching Sark on that play, and Silas Bolden got absolutely screamed at.
Yes.
After that, like I mean, again, I'm not like staring at Steve the entire time, but I was watching him. Silas trot off the field. Oh my God, that might be been the worst shootout of the 2024 season. Like,
and he probably got yelled at by Banks afterwards too.
Oh, he was absolutely ripped.
It was like an assembly line.
But I like Silas. He's one of my guys. He's one of my dark horses. Like I like trust him. So all these people that are in the chat, like, oh, he's giving us anxiety. Like he doesn't really give me anxiety, but he got absolutely blown up after that.
Silas has got to be one of the funniest like cases for coaching. Ghost, because you know this, right? When you got a player like Silas, it's like when he does something like that. I'm trying to find a good way to say this. For as much stupid shit as he does on the football field, right? His ability to stay on the football field, that means he's doing a lot of things right.
Right.
Like that means he does a lot of things right. There are very few people that I think could have had as many chances at punts and just fielding them in completely terrible situations that they would just get thrown back out there time and time again. And it's not a matter of we don't have anybody. We could stick Matthew Golden back there and be fine, right? Sure. But like to the play that we're talking about here with the Arkansas game, I mean, like that one, it's like the ball is literally on its way to bouncing in the end zone. Silas Bolden's ass cheeks are on the end zone. he doesn't get further than where we would have got the touchback at.
Right.
It's just like son, if you muff it, it's a touchdown, right? There was literally the amount of upside was below. It was a negative play. It was just a complete negative play. But it's one of those things where also you still see Silas go out there again. That the amount of things that he has to do right to be able to do that, to be able to make a mistake like that time and time again. Look, he's just live dangerously. That's how you're just gonna have to live to learn that.
He does live dangerously. Yes.
That was a very high risk, low reward decision from Silas. We'll hope to see a little bit better, but I like the confidence that he exudes. He gets out there, he does some of these things on the fly that give us a little bit of panic in the moment, but he trusts himself. And until he, causes a big turnover or anything, I expect him to field balls cleanly, to find a way. If he fumbles something, it'll probably go out of bounds, like the blue fumble yesterday. I don't know, man. He's an effort guy, high energy. I love what he brings to the team, and for him to be kind of not buried on that depth chart, but be down there and not get the reps that some of the other guys get. He didn't care, man. He gets out there and tries to make the most out of every opportunity, and it's easy to root for, obviously.
It's getting him on the field too.
Yeah,
he's gotten snaps as the year's gone on. Like that Oklahoma play was huge.
Yeah, exactly that, man. That's what you want to see out of a guy like your coach, and he over-delivered. I mean, he outran both teams. So,
that's what I was saying. Like, I was just saying that's what I was saying. If you're a coach, like, how do you take that guy off the field?
Yep.
Like, you see a play like that, you want that dude on the field. Like, that's what you preach about.
Yeah. And also that type of effort, that motivates other players around you. People want to see that guy who busts his tail. It's not going to just be on the football field. Or on the game field. It's going to be practice reps, weight room. Like, you can tell Silas is loved, and we love seeing him on the field. I mean, every rep he gets. I know that sometimes it can get a little dicey out there, but before we do game balls, guys, throw a quick like on the video for these two. They're doing a great job as always with the post game stuff. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that. We're close to 500 subscribers, I believe, getting there. But all right, Peyton, we'll start with you. Game balls, you were there. Offense, defense, who you have?
My defense won, because just saying, y'all are giving me shit on Twitter when I was right. Nah.
When did I give you shit?
I wasn't giving you shit.
No, mine's
no. She's saying when I said she was happy about Jahdae Barron, I wasn't giving you shit.
Yeah, he did great. Huge big plays.
I was saying you were happy.
Yeah, some of the Arkansas people were like, "Oh my God, his PI or whatever." I'm like, no, he's just being our guy and hitting him hard. So goodbye. Yeah, he's mine. I honestly was thinking about this all morning for my offensive ball. I don't know. Do I take the easy one, or are we taking Matthew Golden? I'll take Matthew Golden.
You got to take Matthew Golden, right?
Yeah, low-hanging fruit. Honorable mention of the week is Burt. Two pretty easy ones, but he needed those.
Confidence builder, right?
Confidence. So he's my honorable mention of the week.
Okay.
Gold star of the week.
Jahdae Barron and Matthew Golden with a gold star to Mr. Burt Auburn.
That's me.
I love it. Love every bit of it. What do you have, Nash?
I did this on my live show yesterday after the game. A little reaction. I'm gonna give Jahdae. How could you not give Jahdae Barron the game ball on the defensive side? And on the offensive side, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that shit and say, screw y'all offense. This thing is going to Alfred Collins. Okay, because these two both get game balls because you know what? Who gave you the ball to go score on that at the end? Alfred Collins. Give him the game ball.
Yep. Yeah, that's an easy call, man. Like I like that a lot. I like both of them a lot. Obviously, Golden had 2 big touchdowns. Alfred, man, made some money yesterday. Huge game, massive game. Had an NFL sack there. Shed the block, made a diving sack there on Taylor Green as they were driving into Texas territory on a first down. That was a big moment for him to have that sack. Shout out Alfred Collins. Obviously, Jahdae was incredible, balled out start to finish. Why do people throw at him? Why do people throw in the vicinity of Jahdae?
I just have no idea. I literally leaned to my right and asked, like, why are y'all throwing to him?
Well, it's the here's the other deal, Ghost. this is as a Texas fan, where we haven't had good cornerback play, like good consistent cornerback play, and I can't. It's got to be since 2008, 2009, right? Like maybe you can think of like one or two guys that were, and I'm talking like Chris Boyd was good, right? NFL player, but not this level, not
No.
lockdown, not like with the thing is with guys like Chris Boyd and like Jalen Green, we always had the talent. They were the talented enough to do this, but they just never put it together. This is like what we're seeing is some special shit from these cornerbacks, especially Jade Barron. And Jade Barron had a lot of doubters. There were a lot of people that were like Texas fans making like almost like borderline making fun of him for making the switch to cornerback, right? Like he's not going to be able to athletically hang up at cornerback. He's not going to be able to do it, like be able to hang there. And all he's done all season long is give us some of the best cornerback. Like if you want to watch textbook cornerback play, go. I'm not like I said, I'm not a football guru, but I feel like that would be what Jade Barron's putting out there on tape. Like he's not. It's this beautiful ability to time up plays defensively. He's not like draping over guys, and if he ever does use a guy's bot leverage, he's doing it in a way that's not going to draw a PI, and he's always every single time he's getting a hand on the football, and he's like it's a matter of like legit hand, like my head is a football, smack that shit, get it out of here, right? Like it's not like, oh, I got my fingertip on it. Oh, I got this. No, he is actually deflecting passes. And if he's not deflecting, he's intercepting them. And then you look at like some people might point out that interception. Oh, well, that's not really that much of an interception. It's more off the wide receiver. As a defensive back, for him to have that quick of reaction that the ball bounces off the wide receiver's hands, he's already catching it, like in a matter of like 0.1 seconds. What are we talking about here? Like Jade Barron has had an amazing season, and this is. It's been as a guy that's had his jersey from like I got it last year, but I've been a long time fan of Jade Barron. This is a really fun season to watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed I didn't get his jersey now because like I am his #1 fan.
Yeah, you got to get the 23 though. That's for me. The 23 jersey, the OG today. That's the one I would get if I could. Some people call him ball hawk. Some people call him a magnet to the football, but we shall call him Mr. Thorpe because that award is going to be his at the end of the season. Great point here, Abel. It's when a cornerback is playing really, really well when you just never hear their name. He's always on the field. You never hear his name. There you go, right there, man.
Hey, that's how you know a real one was here, okay? 23.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was saying. Exactly.
That's what he said. Oh, well, he has his headphones in. He can't hear.
Yeah. Nash is the only real one out here. Yeah, the secondary, a monster jump. You talk about the game that Michael Penix had in the Sugar Bowl, and then the pass defense being the best pass defense in the country. We are blessed. It's been fun to watch for sure. Great point here, Texie and Alfred again. He had a really, really big day. My game ball on defense, since you guys have already obviously taken the two big-time front runners, Gage said it. Colin Simmons had a big day. Was all over the football. Couple how many sacks did he have, Nash? Was it 2? I'm sorry.
Well, PFF has 3. Here's the deal. Like I personally would have him at 2.5. ESPN has him at 2. PFF has him at 3.
Okay.
Whatever you want. Look, multi-sack game. Great day.
Man, I'm going to tell you this. I didn't get to watch a single bit of football yesterday after the Texas game. Not a single snap. And I looked down. And was barely on my phone. I would look down at like 7 o'clock. I have a text from Gage saying, craziest college football year ever. And my mind just starts going crazy. I'm like, oh my God, Oregon's playing right now. They could have lost. Is Penn State losing to Purdue? Like what all is happening out there that I'm missing? And I was so sad when I get about 9:30 and I'm able to check scores. And I'm like, there's not a motherfucking thing that has happened today in this sport. There's nothing that has happened today.
Well, no, okay. So
what are we doing right now?
To give Gage a little bit of credit.
Wait, chaos in the swamp.
No, I predicted that. That's not chaos for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
To give Gage a little bit of credit, it was a 6-3 ball game at the half. It
Okay,
was
but,
13th. 13th. It was things were looking bleak for Oregon, and that it was not until like the last like couple drives that Oregon actually like came back and won the game. And even then, Wisconsin was holding them to field goals and like holding them to, like it was like shit, they might have a chance. Like they keep on surviving. I don't know the Big Ten. It's really weird. Although but to this point, what fan base isn't doing this about every like fans of the SEC? Oh, the Big Ten looking pretty weak this year. Big Ten. Oh, SEC is looking pretty weak this year.
well, that's the thing though, Nash, is that everybody has that moment, that game or half of football for us, where they look sus, where they look very beatable for about 20 teams.
Oh no, we're not allowed to have that.
And you can't just like you can't talk. Everybody's just like, oh no, you can't say that about A&M, you can't say that about LSU, you can't say that Alabama, and so teams are getting more sus and sus. You see LSU is obviously falling off the map. A&M lost their 2 ranked wins in one day's time, one afternoon's time rather. I will apologize, Gage. I guess the ending of South Carolina was pretty wild. I did go back and watch.
Is that what was he referencing? Just like multitude of games, or was it?
No,
college football
I
in
texted
general.
him back and said what happened, and I need to find the phone while I'm using it for a live. Gosh darn it.
I didn't know if he was specifically talking about the LSU loss.
No, he wasn't talking about anything because like we had a little conversation after, and that's not why he's not here. He's traveling right now. But I was like, dang it, man! I thought I was going to get out, and we were going to have Tennessee and Georgia in the 16th overtime, and there was going to just be chaos. Which I did stay up for Kansas and BYU. See, wearing that Kansas blue, it worked out.
That is crazy.
The SEC, it got help last night. BYU losing is massive. The Big 12 goes from a potential 2-bid league to 1-bid league. Colorado, Big 12 champion, hopefully over BYU. I want to see Deion and the Buffs make the playoffs again. For any Buffs fan that ever hears this, if they ever did, I apologize. I thought you guys would stink. I thought you'd go 3-9, 4-8. I knew you were going down in Nebraska. Didn't think you would recover after that one. The Buffs look good, real deal. I was shocked. Go ahead.
Did you see Ohio State?
I watched. I didn't watch, but I kept up with the first half of that one.
So that one was kind of like that one was funny because Ohio State was actually down
early
to Northwestern, and then also like it was looking kind of it was actually looking kind of almost like it might go to half tied, right? But this was one of the funny things to me was while Texas fans were sitting there on Twitter losing their minds about Quinn Ewers, Ohio State is down 0-7, had a couple bad drives from Will Howard to start, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, Ohio State fans would murder somebody to get Quinn Ewers on their roster right now. Right? Like to have Quinn Ewers to be able to throw to Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka. Like it's just it's funny to like see the difference of the reaction in fan bases. Like I don't know. I feel like Ohio State fans would love to have Quinn Ewers over Will Howard.
Probably. They probably won't say that since Quinn left their school, but in the back of their minds, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Yeah, Texian, great point. We do need more help. And once again, this is not an SEC pride thing. I only care about what happens to Texas. Now, of course, I will share my opinion on who I think should be in and who should not be in the playoff. But the USC win over Notre Dame would go a long way because, unfortunately, Notre Dame's going to get in at 11-1 with a loss to Northern Illinois. I guess the committee are very impressed by that Texas A&M victory they had back in August. But, yeah, Indiana, we'll find out. This weekend's going to be crazy. I personally would love to see Indiana knock Ohio State out. Who is Ohio State beating? Penn State? Okay, who the hell is Penn State beating? So because Penn State was highly ranked again after having a terrible offense for the last forever and a pretty dang good defense, give them credit for that, they've beaten no one. Penn State has beaten nobody. They beat West Virginia in the beginning of the year. Okay, they just haven't been impressive. I'm just going to say that. And once again, Granddad played for them. I'm not knocking them.
What are you writing?
Army. There you go. See?
11-1.
No?
You said Notre Dame's going to finish 11-1. That's a lie. You can't be lying to people.
SMU? My Dallas people.
Peyton, I predicted SMU to make the playoffs on the preseason.
No, I'm talking about Ghost. Ghost had just said that Notre Dame's going to go 11-1.
No, I said they would get in at 11.
Oh, okay.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
sorry, I did worry about
Well, no. I mean, the loss is guaranteed. Let's just go
No.
ahead and bake that in.
And so, yeah, this is weird to see for the top 5-10 teams being Big Ten teams. But again, it is such a top-heavy conference right now at the moment. Obviously, Washington took a big decline. USC is down. Oregon's good. UCLA is whatever they are. But, hey, they're playing better under Coach Foster. But that conference is down. And so you just have the top-heavy Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and I guess Penn State. I mean, it's so weird to say they belong up there. I don't think that they do.
Dog.
Hey, good boy.
But yeah, the SEC needs a little bit more help. I'm only concerned about Texas, and if we win our next 2 games, we don't have to worry about any of it. We'd get in at 12-1, obviously SEC champion, or 11-2 with your second loss coming in Atlanta. Guys, any worries, concerns, pause, I guess, heading into Kentucky week, or would you call it a trap game, or do you think this is a game that we'll handle and then get ready for that very big one at the end of the month?
So I'm gonna be. I've said this on Twitter. This is gonna be my first game of the Steve Sarkisian era I miss at home. I have a wedding that I'm gonna be attending. The problem with this is the guy that's getting married is a Texas Tech fan. Went to Texas Tech, all that. One of his groomsmen is an Ohio State fan. A few of his groomsmen are Aggie fans. A couple of them are Longhorn fans, but look, I'm outnumbered. Okay, I don't got many allies in there. I need Texas to win, because I'm gonna be watching the game while I'm with them. If Texas does not beat the shit out of Kentucky, I'm gonna be having a long night.
I think they're gonna beat the shit out of Kentucky.
Like if we lose or even just have a close game, might be one of the most miserable nights of my life.
I'm confident. I'm never confident. I'm confident.
Texas is going to rail Kentucky. I
think that we're going to win. I'm confident. You know me. I'm
Look,
pessimistic every single week.
thought it. I agree with y'all, but like I don't know, because everybody in the beginning of the year, Kentucky's a trap game.
Well, Arkansas was a trap game and we did it. Florida was a trap game and we did it.
But didn't you hear we were so lucky that we played Florida without DJ Lagway?
Oh my God, the Aggies on my timeline are cracking me up. I can't.
I want to see if DJ Lagway continued his amazing completion percentages.
I had like 7 or 8 texts yesterday that said, "I'm glad you get to keep your hair."
Oh my God.
One for me.
I kind of forgot about that.
One for me.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, Nash, I didn't see it until late.
Well, that was late though. I was probably one of the last ones to. So.
Well, no, there was a lot, probably like between like 3 and 6, 3 and 7 o'clock. And I didn't see any of them till like 10, and I was like, I am crying. I wanted to screenshot it and post it because there was like 4 or 5 of them that were in a row. Just, hey, good for you, but I'm not doing anything this week. I'm not tempting fate again. I think Kentucky will trot out the 3-high safety look. They're going to do it. They're going to try to slow Texas down, but they're not going to score the football. I think Texas wins this game pretty easily. Obviously, you're a 21-point favorite. You should win the game easily. But a lot of people out there, as I talk about A&M on Twitter, a lot of people are saying, worry about Kentucky, this and that. We have Kentucky. Yes, we do. But nothing that I say about A&M on the timeline is going to matter in this football game. I promise you that, okay? There's like 3 out of 85 players that follow me. I don't think they're going to take the tweets and run and say, okay, hey, go said this. Let's not even worry about Kentucky. They're worried about Kentucky. I'm not worried about Kentucky. I'm just being real with you. They don't have.
Are you going to the game, man?
I don't even have players follow me like that.
Okay, celebrity.
Dude,
that's a low percentage.
Do I need to pay you for coming on the show?
No, that's only John Tweet Smith, the Georgia guy.
Wait, Ghost, are you going to the game
this weekend? The Kentucky game?
Yeah.
I am supposed to see hang out with the Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered guy. I do not have a ticket at the moment, but I am supposed to be there. So
you should. Damn, shit.
I'm stuck in College Station right now. I'm working very long days, and I have just not been planning or thinking about it whatsoever.
We should have connected on this because my ticket would have just gone to you. But
where's your ticket, Nash? Why did I get?
Well, Kyle offered me $300 for it. So
Kyle. Okay. Um,
If there was coordination before, I'd never even thought to get that out of it. I will say, man, crazy that we were lucky that we didn't get to play a 50% passing quarterback. Insane.
No, I think DJ is going to be fantastic, but acting like he was going to go beat this Texas secondary, this Texas defense, yeah, get out of here. I mean, we might not have won by 32, but I felt great about winning by 3 scores. But that being said, I like DJ Lagway. He's going to be.
I'll say, no, DJ is going to be an amazing player, but I have my doubts on if he's going to ever play on a good team unless he transfers. Because if they stick with Billy Napier, the recruiting is not going to be around DJ Lagway. Like, congratulations, y'all got Lagway, I guess.
I like DJ. Same concern for him.
He's just not going to have anybody else around him if they stick
want
with
to be
Napier.
on a good team too. You know what I mean?
They fired Dan Mullen for less. For Dan Mullen had a top 10 in the recruiting class, and they fired him.
There are a lot of real quick before I bring the other rival up. So you talk about being at a wedding. I was at a wedding in College Station or here in College Station last year during the Wyoming game. So it's 10-10 in the fourth quarter, and I'm basically like, I'm not trying to say I'm a king. I'm a lion in the jungle, and I got a pack of hyenas just trailing me. They're waiting, just begging Wyoming to make a play in that fourth quarter. And luckily that Xavier Worthy touchdown down the sideline kind of chilled them out a little bit. But you could tell them blood was in the water. Sharks were circling there, ready to hop on. So we won that day. It didn't matter in the end. I was able to relax and have a little bit of fun happening. But I hope you don't go through that same experience is my point, because, man, I was on pins and needles for a moment.
Dude, I just hope we're up like 35-0 like we did versus Florida. And I'm just like, okay, cool. I can just knock them back. I can knock them back and have fun.
Yeah, no worries. Yesterday or all week, I've seen a lot of Dan Mullen desire out of some Oklahoma Sooners as far as an offensive coordinator goes, if they were to continue on with Brent Venables as their head coach. And then I saw a tweet yesterday about it was Brent Venables, Dan Mullen, and Barry Switzer all together. And so, Nash, do you have any thoughts on Dan Mullen potentially being an Oklahoma offensive coordinator? Are you well versed with old Dan?
I mean, I'm not too well versed, but I know he's a good offensive coach. I know he's a really good quarterback coach. I wouldn't like it because he's a good coach, but what's that about Barry Switzer? Is Barry Switzer actually like that? Would be hilarious if they drag Barry Switzer.
There's no way.
If they drag him out of a nursing home to coach football.
He is old, but he's adorable.
I know. That's why I was like, I'm laughing if they're actually like if they're dead serious about that. But
Barry's in rough shape.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
I was literally about to like Google if he's still alive.
He's there. He goes to the games and stuff.
Yeah, and I always say that because some Sooners tell me that he's an older man.
He's like their minister of culture. Just a little, not as.
I feel like that would be Bob Stoops.
See, now Dan Mullen does have a pretty cush TV deal. He just hangs out, talks about ball, makes a lot of money. But a coach wants to coach, man, and I'd be shocked to see Dan Mullen not come out of retirement at some point. Now, I will agree and say it kind of be surprising if it was at an OC or was as an OC, but if he did do it as an OC, it would be at a big-time school and probably in the SEC. I know he's got more left in the tank and probably a lot left to prove after, the way he's trolled Florida has been just next level. I love when he trolls Florida.
But why would you want to go to Oklahoma? And the only reason why I say that is specifically with Brent Venables as the coach. If Brent Venables is your boss, all you've seen with Brent Venables is him doing the same shit that Tom Herman did, which is if everything doesn't go perfect, guess who's getting tossed underneath the bus? It ain't Brent.
Oh, no, absolutely. You hit your wagon to the Venables show. There's going to be that scapegoat at some point unless Mullen just does such a good job offensively and then maybe Brent's defenses fell off and
Brent would still find a way. Brent would still find a way to blame it. He'd say, the offense is scoring too fast. They're getting the other team the ball. We're not getting enough time on the sidelines.
No. I just think that it's a silly wagon to hit yourself to. He did make a good hire in Jeff Lebby, and Jeff Lebby had a good offense with Dylan Gabriel. And then so it's just like, to me, that's the same as you're thinking. Obviously, I don't know why that would be your choice, but just had to ask. I did see the picture, and I try to keep you guys updated on Oklahoma football as best that we can. And I don't even know if they keep Brent as their head coach, but
Please,
guys,
please do.
a couple more minutes. Y'all have anything else before
Wait,
we
I
let you
have
out of here?
2 funny stories. They're quick. They're like a sentence. So
Really
I was
good.
like in Fayetteville, speaking of OU, and I didn't know this guy at all, but there was this guy at the tailgate. Okay, I don't know if you guys have done this, but if you wear another team's jersey to a game, like that is my number one pet peeve. Like, do you do that?
Oh
Nah.
yeah, like no.
Like if you go to like a Texas Tech TCU game, are you gonna wear a Longhorns jersey?
I'm a grown man. I don't wear jerseys.
Okay, just making sure.
I
I
collect
like
them. I
That
collect
is
them
my
and put
number
them
one
on the
pet peeve.
walls.
Anyway,
the
just wear
only
like a
one I've
white
ever
shirt.
done is the baseball jersey. That's the only one I've ever worn.
That's
public.
different. It's not that. Sorry.
Anyway, we were at the Texas Arkansas game, and some guy shows up in a OU jersey with like lamb on the back, obviously. But like, I'm
He's
just like,
probably an Oklahoma fan, right?
no, he was. He went to
Okay.
OU, whatever. But I'm just like, you're embarrassing us. And I didn't even know him. Literally, he was just at the tailgate. I was like, I just took a photo like a creeper and sent it to my OU friends. And I was like, come get your guy. The second thing was just as a funny story. No one will know who this is, obviously, but like, I worked in, like I said, I worked in Fayetteville. So some of my friends are still like reporting there and report on the Razorbacks. So they had like a suite. And so I got invited to the suite and, obviously like a booster suite. And I show up in like, I don't know if anyone follows me on social media, but I'm in like, a Texas varsity shirt like this. And the booster, I guess, who owned the suite basically was like, that is not allowed in our suite. None of our booster money will go towards basically saying like food. They had like, drinks and enchiladas and whatever. And they're like, none of our booster money will go towards that. And like pointed to my shirt, obviously. And so I was like, I'm not kidding, guys. I like did not eat in Fayetteville because I was like refused food. But then like if you go, isn't that kind of crazy? So then I felt like super awkward and because it was some other guy's suite. I was invited by like media personnel that I know that still work there, work and live there. So I like did not have any food. I felt uncomfortable. So I went out to like the main concourse where there was like a buffet and they had like bacon and I just sat there eating bacon and I felt like really happy. But
First two things. One, they're selling bacon in the Arkansas Stadium.
I think I took a photo of it.
Ironic.
They had like biscuits and gravy and then like bacon and then maybe like hash browns or something. And all I went for was the bacon. I was like, I'm gonna load up my plate with like much bacon right now.
Did they have
and
scrambled eggs?
I have
the
no
only thing
idea.
that's missing from breakfast
The
is
only
scrambled eggs.
thing I was in Arkansas for 15 hours and the only food that went in my mouth was like 12 pieces of bacon. That's all I was allotted. Like,
I'll be honest, man. Like Ghost, you can probably agree with that. Like that shit's fucking pathetic, right? Like to be like I'm not you, Peyton. But I'm saying that.
No, I thought he
petty.
was kidding. At first, I was like, oh my God, like he's making fun of my shirt. Like, we get it. It's funny. If it was an Aggie in ours, like we would give them shit. Like, I get it.
Right.
But then, I was with my friend who I don't want to name. I was with my girlfriend and we kind of like jokingly laughed. And then I looked at her and then the guy was like, the booster man was like, I have 2 free tickets on the 50. You can take your friend and you can go sit over there, but that's not allowed in our like booster suite. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, see, like there's like that's like the whole like Aggie being taking it seriously level I was talking about earlier. I don't know. Like I'm very petty, right?
Honestly, I said the story because I was like, was I in the wrong? And maybe people can chime in. Was I in the wrong wearing a Texas sweatshirt into a Razorback suite with my Razorback friends?
No,
like they're all wearing Razorback gear and I'm wearing Texas gear, but we're all having like a girls' day. Like, was I in the wrong?
No, you're far from it. If I were in that position, right, and 2 girls with Oklahoma and A&M shirts comes in. Yes, have food, have water, right? Enjoy yourselves, right? Make yourself at
With
home.
piece of bread too.
Make yourself at home.
I mean,
Hook
I'm
'em
on
horns,
TV. I
right?
know my
I'm
kids.
gonna let them know hook 'em horns, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be petty. I'll let them know. I'll let them know all about scores, all about all that shit, right? But like, as for like actually being like a decent human, yes, I'm going to participate in that because like we say all the time, there's sports and then there's also people, right? And then people like to almost completely separate the two. Like these are all people at the end of the day, and I don't know, like to be a complete just let's just be honest. Let's just call being a fucking asshole, right?
Well,
Like
I'd say
I
this
don't know. There's levels to this, and like to being petty, like CDC, right? Taking down the flags from all the Big 12 schools and putting up Texas the last year for 2023, the 2023 season. We only had Texas. That's petty, right?
and I like that. Petty.
Pointing out like, hey, the last time that we played y'all A&M, we beat y'all's ass. That or not beat y'all's ass, but we walked off with the field goal, right? That's petty. Denying somebody food and water at a football game where they're charging it $20 outside is I don't know. There's levels to being petty and there's also levels to being an asshole. And I feel like you receive the asshole levels more.
it was like that age though, where like the Texas Arkansas rivalry like runs deep. Like he was in that age category, older.
Yeah, but that's still no excuse to being an asshole. Like it's like people like it's like Texas fans having to carry an extra pair of clothes just because like when my dad was our age, right? When he's going up to Arkansas, if you were going up to Arkansas 20 years ago, you had to take an extra change of clothes because if they saw burnt orange on, it does not matter how empty your gas tank is. They won't let you fill it up.
Wouldn't give you food.
They will not accept your money. US dollars. Like these are people that like I'm almost convinced that Arkansas fans hate whatever DKR, I forget what DKR did, but DKR pissed these fuckers off. Because I'm almost convinced they would rather die than help out a Texas fan. Like if they or even like a situation where they're like they could be dying of starvation and a Texas fan has, hey, I got some food for you. Don't want it. Don't want it from your snarly, dirty hands.
I know an Arkansas player that tore Texas up in the early 2000s pretty well, and he told me that very similar to what you're saying, that if you drive through and burn orange, it was like there are particular people that would like chase you out of town, that would follow you and make sure that you're not doing anything that they deem to be fun, and they're going to make sure that you don't get to hang out and do what you normally would do. And it's like that is next level stuff, man. Like that, it's a lot. And so
like almost like different eras.
That experience. So I will say this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I had somebody like our age tell me about like the last time that they were in Arkansas. They had they're like your age a little bit, but they got chased out with what you call it? Like they were so we had won, and Arkansas fans are literally like running at like it's a mob of Arkansas fans running after him, and he's running to his pickup truck, and he gets in his truck and then drives off, and it's like, but like these people, they actually want to, they don't like us, they really don't.
One day I'll get the two of you and I'll tell you about my experience in 2011 at Kyle Field, the last time those two teams played, and a few of the things that were said to me as I exited the stadium. And I was with what is now my wife. She was just my girlfriend at the time. We were both very young and not instigating is my point. And there are a few things said to me by some of the older Aggies that were there in the crowd that I was just like, dang, I don't think I could think of that in like the most hateful, most upset moments of my life. Like, I don't think I could ever conjure up those words that you just said to me. College sports fans in general, they're wild. You know, college football fans, very, very passionate. The older fan base, though, they seem to take the rivalries a little bit more to heart. And it's not for us. Like, we don't want to listen to A&M talk on Twitter. Like, you know, I don't even know who these older guys are talking to. Who are the Aggies that are running around, or the Hogs fans or Horns fans to our rivals that are like talking all this trash, where this guy can't even let you walk into a suite and, you know, have a drink, have some food, and hang out, some fellowship without it being an issue. Like, that's just too much hate. It's a lot of hate in your heart, brother. I don't have that in me.
I just
I'm
wanted to
very
tell
much,
that story. Also, caveat to the people watching, like, I'm not going to go into this and like drink them, eat everything. Like, I work in TV in Dallas. Like, I know my place. I know how to conduct myself. I also lived in Fayetteville for 3 years. Like, I know my place. I was probably like gonna have a beer. I was flying back that day at 4:30, so I wasn't getting too crazy. I really just wanted to hang out with my friends, and they got me a ticket into it. I really just wanted like a little chips in case I went like a beer, and I was so happy. I would be happy, but
To be
instead
honest,
I had bacon, but whatever.
my smart ass would have if someone told me that, right, like clearly being a fucking prick, right, I would stare them while staring at them in the eyes. Go grab my nachos. Go grab my beer.
Well,
Start eating.
I'm
And
the
I don't
woman,
care if they kick me
the
out.
friend.
Like I
I'm getting something. I'm leaving here with something.
yeah. No, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave with some food and some anger.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell my people. I'm gonna be like, hey, I'll catch y'all later.
I will say this, and once again, this is not a flex. This is just what happened in the last week, and now I'm kind of thinking about how it would play out. But I was invited to a suite for A&M in Texas, and I was like, okay, I've already got tickets. I'm sitting with Gage and Ingrid, but I was like, y'all would let me in there? And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, of course. And I'm so like, we're on two opposite ends of the spectrum there. I mean, now maybe not every Aggie would be like, yeah, come into the suite, come hang out.
Yeah, maybe. I do see both sides.
Yeah,
But
and so because it's not like you're one of the fans who's just like running around talking trash, and like when Quinn throws a touchdown pass, you're not like horns up in people's face. Maybe you are, but not.
no, I know my place there. Like
Yeah,
I'm not a weirdo. Like in DKR, I'm like loud and whatever. Or
of
like
course.
Michigan this year in Ann Arbor, like we were fun. But I do think we'll end on this. It is Texas because like my girlfriends, like I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, have you guys had other opposing? They're like, yeah, whenever our girlfriends from in town, they were like, whenever they played Ole Miss 2 weeks ago, like they invited 2 Ole Miss girls and they were allowed in the suite. And they were like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. But like the second that I walked in, they were like not having it.
That's so weird. I'm very much like, welcome to DKR, welcome to Austin. Like if you need help getting anywhere, if you need knowledge of this place and what to check out,
I'd be like, here's my
if you
number.
need
Let me
anything,
help you.
if you need anything, like we're trying to be, you know what? Maybe it's just maybe we need to change. Maybe we need to drop the word Southern off the word hospitality, off the term hospitality, and talk about Texas hospitality.
Okay.
Again, that was one person. I know there's a lot of Razorbacks that are extremely nice. I lived there, and I was only there for 15 hours, so very small sample size. So
right.
but
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the Arkansas fans are probably going to share that sentiment. Arkansas is just a very unique fan base. I'll say that. Leave it on that. Leave it at that nice.
Well, guess what? We don't have to worry about them for 365 days. So that's why I was thinking about that on the flight.
No, we gotta play them in baseball.
And so we play them in hoops too. John Calipari.
Oh.
Can't wait for that.
Do they come?
Yeah. And I don't even know, Nash. I don't know in basketball or baseball where we play the Hogs at, but all I know is our first conference basketball game was at Reed Arena.
I do know the invitation that you got. you should be like, hey man, is it okay if I send Nash talks Texas up in the suite for me? Aggies hate my ass. They hate me.
Mild Texas fan, but you'll enjoy him. But no, so hey, we're 9-1. There are things that the offense can.
We go to Arkansas. We go to Fayetteville. So
and hoops for baseball. Okay,
that's gonna be pay attention to hoops.
That's all right. I got you.
I know. All I know is we got. This is literally. These are the only two names I can actually 100% name. I know we got a dude named Pope. Okay, that's the third name that I could possibly name. But I know we got Kendall Weaver, and I know we got Trey Johnson.
There we go.
That's all my hoops knowledge, baby.
Hey, next week by the post-game show, I want you to tell me 4 players' names. All right, you got a whole week. Learn one more. By the time conference is here, we're gonna have the whole team there. We're gonna have it ready to rock, brother. But guys, thank y'all for doing this with me. Texas is 9-1. Texas is 2 games away from a guaranteed playoff spot, but Kentucky comes before A&M. 3:30 Central Time kickoff. Mark Stoops, Kentucky Wildcats. Steve Sarkisian's Texas Longhorns. We feel good about it. We'll do pregame show on Friday, of course. Any last words, Peyton or Nash?
No Cowboys today, so I'm good. My
Thank God.
Longhorns win and no Cowboys on this Sunday.
God, Cowboys fans are hurt, man. That's
I'm so
all I've
tired.
that's
I'm
all
going to
I've
sleep.
seen on the timeline. All I've seen on the timeline is like I have a couple Giants friends and I have some Cowboys, but like it's either can't be hurt by the Cowboys and can't be hurt by the Giants today.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Well, good for you, Peyton. Go take you a nap. Nash, we'll see you. I'm sure we'll talk in a few minutes. Hook 'em horns, guys. Thanks for
Bye.
watching. Like, subscribe.